Test, test, test. Mic check, mic check, mic check. It's dead loud. Dead loud. Okay. Test, test, test. That's better. That's better. Good afternoon and welcome to the All Saints Sports Centre in Sheffield. We're gearing up for some WBBL action between the Sheffield Hatters and the Manchester Met Mystics. My name is Kaz Bullock. I'm all the way over from Manchester and I'll be with you throughout today's game. And we've just got a bit of a delayed tip-off. We were due to tip at 4. We've just been slightly delayed, but we'll get things underway for you very shortly. So, looking at a good game ahead of us today. Sheffield Hatters currently sitting in joint third place with Caledonia. They are at 4 wins and 1 loss in the league so far. That loss coming to London Lions, the unbeaten London Lions, and a 10-point loss there. So Sheffield playing London very closely this season. The Mystics still looking for that elusive first win of the season, 0-6 at the moment. And they've been a little bit short-handed this season due to some injuries, some visa issues to start the season, and a relatively young team this season compared to the Mystics teams of prior years. So a lot of learning, a lot of experience going on for this group of players. So teams coming onto court, starting for the Sheffield Hatters, we will have Nicolette Fairley, Georgia Gale, Helen Naylor, Carly Murphy and Lena Young. For the Mystics, we've got Sam Keltos, Princess Adegan, Alejandra Escriva-Gay, Vanessa Accra and Leah McDermott. So jumping for the tip, it will be Murphy and Keltos. And we're going to try that again. There's going to be another attempt at tip-off. So here we go, ball is up and the game is underway. Hatters with the first possession of the game. Fairley gets it over to Murphy, who hands it off to Gale. Over to Naylor. Back to Gale, and Georgia Gale, a fantastic player. So good to have her in the WBBL for this Hatters team, as Nyang hits her first points of the game for the Hatters, gives them a quick 2-0 lead. Escriva-Gay for the Mystics. Gets it over the halfway line. She's up against Young. It's a tough matchup for Escriva-Gay. She hands it off to McDermott. Going against Murphy. Looking inside to Keltos. And Keltos with a short jumper. Can't answer on that one. Murphy grabs the rebound. And Sam Keltos had a fantastic performance in the Mystics' last game against the Eagles last weekend. 30 points. 11 rebounds, so Sam Keltos definitely a player to watch in this league. As Naylor swings it over. Young shots up, that's no good. Ball's out, but it's going to stay with the Hatters. Young inbounds over to Fairley. 10 on the shot clock. Fairley against Adegan, hands it off to Murphy. Puts a floater up, that doesn't go, but she grabs her own rebound. Murphy against Keltos, spins. That one's too strong. McDermott dives in for the ball and can't save it. Just going to step out of bounds on that possession. Good hustle from Leah McDermott though. And Carly Murphy, what an impact she's had for the Sheffield Hatters in her first season out of Columbia University. She was the Malton Player of the Month for November. And having a great season for the Hatters so far. 3 double-doubles in the league this season so far. And Nyang steals it away and lays it in. Quick 4 points for her. McDermott over the halfway line against Gale. Keltos inside, and Gale and McDermott fighting underneath the basket. That's going to be a foul on Georgia Gale. Ball is in. Keltos with a short jumper, doesn't go. Nyang with the rebound. Over to Fairley. It's going to slow things down. Three's up for Naylor, and nothing but net from Helen Naylor on that possession. We've seen her do that so many times. And quick foul call there. And Helen Naylor playing in her 9th WBBL season, 8 with the Hatters, 1 season with the Mystics where she was in Manchester, along with her current teammates Nicolette Fairley and Hannah Shaw. And just a great player to have in this league. This will be Mystics inbounds as Keltos is looking for some help to get it in. Over to Escriva Gay, back to Keltos. Sheffield putting the pressure on defensively here. McDermott pulls up for 3. That's no good. Rebound Naylor. Rowe hands it off to Fairley. Inside to Murphy. Swings it out. Young for 3. No good. Mystics still looking to get some points on the board here in the first quarter. Keltos over to McDermott. Her shot's up, and that one doesn't go. Murphy driving to the basket. Hook shot and drops in. Carly Murphy averaging 17.4 points per game for the Hatters this season so far. McDermott goes against Fairley. Hands it off to Ade again, inside to Keltos. Nearly loses it, and she does as Young comes up with it. Rowe over to Naylor. Fairley for 3. That's no good. And miscommunication as Rowe comes up with the ball. Swings it off to Young. And just tapped out of bounds, but ball is going to stay with the Hatters. Inbound Sheffield, Murphy against Keltos. Hands it off to Young. Over to Rowe. Rowe off the screen from Naylor. Hands it off to Murphy for 3. That one's in and out with Keltos grabs the rebound. And Charlie Rowe, another familiar face for Manchester fans as Keltos powers to the basket, stops, pops out. Escriva Gay inside to McDermott, long 2. That's good. First points of the game for the Mystics from Leah. Murphy hands it off. Over to Naylor. To Rowe. 3 from Rowe is up, and that one doesn't fall. Ade again to McDermott. She's doubled, needs to get it outside. Over to Accra. Keltos with 6 on the shot clock. Driving. Passes out. 2, shots up, that bounces out for Ade again, unlucky for the Mystics. As the Hatters come back on the attack. Young to Naylor, and that one just rims out. Keltos with another rebound. And Sheffield getting some really good looks at the basket, getting some really nice shots, which we know they like to take. As Ade again drives to the basket, she can't finish. Hatters are a 5-on-4. Murphy, great pass, over to Fairley, and she finishes. Some great ball movement from the Sheffield Hatters on that possession. As we're going to have a quick substitution, we can see Callie McMillan come into the game for the Mystics. And it's going to be timeout as well for a substitution, so we are at 11-2, the Hatters lead with 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Thanks to everyone tuning in on the live stream. Hiya Mark, hope you're doing good. And yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game for Manchester. A lot of injuries. As you know, I've said before, they're a very young team. In fact, one of the youngest in the league. Sheffield, one of the, let's say veteran, let's not say older, one of the more veteran teams in the league as well. But having spoken to Shay Sanchez for the Mystics last weekend, she talks about the importance of just getting 1% better each time you play in, whether it's a game, whether it's practice, just constantly improving, and there's so much to learn. They've got players like Leah McDermott, Claire Abbott, that they can learn from, and that have a wealth of valuable basketball experience. So the Mystics, a lot of potential on that bench, and Sam Keltos definitely a very, very impressive player to watch. And it's going to be exciting to see her career develop. As we're back on the court, so Mystics inbound over to Escriva Gay. You see Naomi Campbell into the game for the first time for the Hatters. And McDermott tries to hand it off, nearly stolen away by Murphy. It's Escriva Gay. Get it to McDermott. McDermott comes up against Murphy, shots up, and that one doesn't go. Rowe comes up with the rebound for the Hatters. Rowe all the way to the basket, off the glass and in, Charlie Rowe. And I've seen her do that so many times in Manchester the last few seasons. She's got some terrific footwork, and the way she's able to manoeuvre and get inside to the basket, despite being one of the smaller players on the court, is always very impressive to see. Escriva Gay, shot won't fall, Naylor gets the rebound. As McDermott fights for it, that is going to be a jump ball. It's going to go the way of the Mystics. We don't currently have any live stats to bring you at the moment, but as soon as we do and they're up, we will get them to you. And that's just going to be a step. Sorry, it's a foul call. Foul on the Hatters, so it's going to be end-line Mystics ball again. We've got a fresh 14. Keltos into McDermott. Escriva Gay swings it back around to Keltos, and it's stolen away by Murphy. Fairly over to Rowe. To Campbell, swings it around to Naylor. Naylor's got space, and looked like Vanessa Akron may have just got a hand on that shot as it went up from Naylor. Keltos driving the court, and Akra's foul is going to be a reaching foul. So sideline Mystics ball. Hatters currently on three team fouls. That will be the fourth for the quarter. Mystics on none. As Hannah Shaw checks in for Helen Naylor, and Carly Murphy takes a seat for Lena Young. McDermott inside to Keltos. Great pass, and Keltos who finishes off the glass. Fairly inside to Campbell. Tried to get it back, and it's stolen away. Escriva Gay. Great steal. McDermott on the break, all alone, and finishes. Some great D from Escriva Gay to force a steal, force a turnover, get some quick transition points. Shaw against Akra, she's got the mismatch there. 6 on the shot clock. Rowe with a deep 3. Charlie Rowe doesn't make that one. Shaw off the glass, and Hannah Shaw banks it in. McMillan to Akra. Keltos passes inside to McDermott, and she gets fouled. That's going to send Leah McDermott to the line. And Leah currently averaging 12.6 points per game for the Mystics, along with 3 rebounds and just over 3 assists per game, as she misses the first free throw. shooting 57% from the line this season. And, oh, second one goes in and out. Fairly round to Rowe. Rowe for three. That doesn't go. And foul on the floor. It's going to be end line Hatters ball. We're going to see Kirsty Russell in for the Mystics for the first time as Escriva Gay heads to the bench. Kirsty Russell obviously spent time with the Gloucester City Queens last season, no longer in the league, and has made the move to Manchester. Shaw, stripped by Accra. And that is going to be another foul call on the Hatters. So it'll send Vanessa Acris to the line for two. Shot's good. Apologies, that was an unsportsmanlike. Second one's good. So Mystics will have the ball as well. McMillan to Accra. Accra driving, blocked by Shaw, manages to get the ball back. Pass is intercepted by Fairley. Over to Rowe. Young's in the corner, shots up, no good. Campbell with the rebound, Hatters with the fresh 14. Fairley kicks it out to Campbell for the long two, and that's good. Takes the lead back up to 9 for the Hatters. McMillan over to McDermott. And that's stolen away by the Hatters. Nicolette Fairley comes up with it. Just under a minute to play in the first. Shaw. Shot doesn't fall, McDermott grabs a rebound. McDermott to McMillan. Russell for three. Too strong off the backboard, and Rowe comes up with a rebound. 18 seconds in the quarter, shot clock's turned off. Fairley. Got 10 seconds. Got space, swings it around to Shaw. Shaw for three, and she's fouled. So Hannah Shaw heads to the line for 3 shots. Hannah Shaw on that Manchester Mystics team from a couple of seasons ago, along with Helen Naylor, Charlie Rowe and Nicolette Fairley. This is the first. And hits the second. One more to come. And it doesn't go, but she gets her own rebound. Kicks it out to Rowe, and time expires there. So that will do it for the end of the first quarter. 18-8, the Hatters lead. No live stats as yet. Again, we'll bring you them when we have them. But, from the eye test, Leah McDermott doing a great job for the Mystics. And the Hatters spreading things around. Charlie Rowe getting in on the action. Helen Naylor, Nyang and Murphy. Everyone's dropping some points in. So after this game, the Hatters make the trip down to Essex on December the 17th away. And their next home game won't be until February, when they will be playing Nottingham on February the 4th. And the Mystics head into Caledonia next weekend before the Christmas break, and they will be back at home in January against Essex on January the 15th. So Hatters eager to get back on court at the start of the second quarter. And it's been a relatively long time since both teams have played. Hatters' last league game was at the start of November, and they had a cup game against London, so only played a couple of times in the last 4 or 5 weeks or so. Mystics also in a similar position. Before last weekend, their first game was the end of October against Oaklands. And of course we've had the GB international break, so players getting a bit of time off there, although Georgia Gale not getting any time off as part of the the GB camp. As we're about to get things underway for the second quarter, so Gale will inbound for the Hatters to Rowe, who's going up against McMillan. Campbell to Naylor. Passes inside. Murphy's going against Keltos. Tapped away by Accra into the hands of Gale, and nothing but net from Georgia Gale. Georgia Gale in the top 10 in the WBBL in three-point percentage, and that is why. Such a great shooter, and we're sure we'll be seeing her do that all game long. Accra shots up, doesn't go. Gale gets the rebound. Gale power into the basket. Campbell manages to pick it up. Rowe passes to Naylor for the reverse. What a pass from Charlie Rowe. And a fantastic finish from Naylor. McMillan driving to the basket, and that is going to be a travel call, so back with the Hatters. As they've stretched the lead out to 15. Gale, he's got a lot of space there, and that is going to be foul call. I think that was on McDermott. And Mystics may have got a bit lucky there, as you don't want to leave Georgia Gale that open. So Gale into Rowe. Round to Naylor. Gale gets it back. 4 on the shot clock. 3 seconds to shoot. Needs to put something up. And that is going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. Some great D from the Mystics on that possession. And that's the intensity that they're going to need to keep up throughout the game if they want to pull back into this against Sheffield. So McMillan. Over to McDermott. And Keltos inside to McDermott. Turns and fires and gets the friendly roll. Another 2 for Liam McDermott. As Campbell shots up, and that is good. McMillan round to McDermott. That's nearly stolen away by Gale. And it's going to stay with the Mystics sideline. As we see Joe Vorliotis check in for Vanessa Accra. McDermott into Keltos, gets it back. McDermott driving all the way, bit too strong off the glass. Murphy grabs the rebound, hands it over to Rowe. Round to Murphy, inside to Campbell, but that's stolen away. Keltos comes away with it. Keltos driving all the way and lays it in. And Gale's pass goes out of bounds, so ball is back with the Mystics. And Sam Keltos showing us what she can do when she drives to the basket. McMillan round to McDermott. Keltos against Murphy. That's a tough shot. Murphy gets the rebound. That's going to be foul, so ball is back with the Mystics. And I am sure that the Sheffield Hatters will have seen what Sam Keltos did last week against Newcastle. They'll have been scouting her, they'll have been watching tape on her, and they'll be trying to contain her underneath the basket. McDermott into Keltos. That's knocked away but stays with the Mystics. Ball's in, Keltos, shots up. That doesn't go. Rowe for the Hatters. Kicks it out. Young. And foul on the floor before the shot. Foul on the Mystics. So it's going to be a sideline ball as Princess Adegan and Alejandra Escrivagay check into the game for Leah McDermott and Kirsty Russell. So sideline for the Hatters, Gale to inbounds. Into Rowe. And a bit of a push from McMillan. So Hatters get the ball back again from the sideline. Gale into Murphy. Murphy all the way, she's going to get fouled. And Callie Murphy's going to head to the line. Takes the Mystics to 14 fouls relatively early on in the second day, 6:46 to go. Murphy hits the first. And second's good. The lead back to 15 for the Hatters. McMillan. Her shot doesn't go. Gale controls things. Oh, great pass from Naylor inside to Young. And the Mystics want a timeout. So 29-12, Hatters lead with 6:27 to go in the second quarter. So teams coming back on court. It will be Mystics ball. 17-point lead for the Hatters. Keltos over to, stolen away. Young fakes the pass, hands it off to Murphy. Doesn't get it to drop, and Keltos comes up with the rebound. Murphy still pressuring the ball though, and nice reverse from Young. McMillan over to Voliotis. Back to Adeogin. Voliotis kicks it out, stolen away. Fairley comes up with it. Hands it off to Gale, and easy two from the free throw line for Georgia Gale. So Escriva Gay passes it to Adeogin. Inside to Keltos. And the Hatters doing a great job of picking up Keltos, making it really hard for us to get to the basket. Adeogin. That is going to be a travel call, so turnover. Ball is back with the Hatters. So Keltos going to take a break for the Mystics. And McDermott back into the game. Gale against McDermott. Pass inside to Murphy, and she finishes. What a pass from Georgia Gale inside. Escriva Gay. That's stolen away by Nyang. She's got Accra on her. One-on-one. And doesn't finish, but gets her own rebound. Puts it back in, doesn't fall. Murphy's there for the putback. Mystics struggling a bit against the pressure of the Hatters defence. As Fairley comes up against McMillan. And that is going to be a foul called on Nicolette Fairley, her first. First team foul for the Hatters this quarter. And Naomi Campbell and Hannah Shaw checking back into the game for Murphy and Naylor. So McDermott with the inbound over to Accra. Escriva Gay. Back to McDermott. Got 6 on the shot clock. McDermott driving. Tough shot. As the Hatters come back on the attack. Campbell over to Young. Fakes it and puts the 3 up. Doesn't go. Ball's tapped, but Campbell comes up with it. Passes over to Fairley off the glass. McMillan to Voliotis. 3 is up and doesn't go. Fairley grabs the rebound, and Nicolette Fairley is one of the most impressive rebounding guards that you'll see. Young over to Gale. Gale's got space, shots up and doesn't go. But rebound Hatters as Young drives to the basket, can't finish, but gets the rebound back again. I think we just got a stop for... I think we might have had something that needs cleaning up on the court. But Nicolette Fairley does a fantastic job crashing the boards for a player her size, generally one of the smaller players on the court as well. And she does a great job rebounding. As she goes against Accra, drives, kicks it out, Campbell's there. That shot doesn't fall. Gale taps it over to Campbell again. Another 14 for the Hatters. Gale pulls up. That doesn't go. Escriva Gay grabs the rebound for the Mystics. And backcourt violation on that pass. So ball is back with the Hatters. 39-12 is the score. We've got 3 minutes 5 to go in the second quarter. Sheffield with a pretty dominant performance so far. Gale with 8 on the shot clock. Fairley. And that's going to be foul call on a Scrivagay. And as I mentioned before, this is a relatively young Mystics team. Some players with only maybe in their first or second seasons of experience. So playing at this level can be a little bit different as Fairley hits the first. But it's a really valuable experience for these younger players to get. And second one gets a friendly roll, so she'll go 2-2 from the line. As Robinson hands it over to a Scrivagay. To McDermott. McDermott pulls up, and that's good. Some much needed points for the Mystics. Shaw. Great pass inside to Fairley, who just lays it in. And their third season playing together, Nicolette Fairley and Hannah Shaw. Obviously both having spent time together as well at the Commonwealth Games in 2018, bringing home the silver medal. As Nyang on the fast break, swings it round to Fairley, back to Nyang. And Hatter's going to have to slow it down and reset the offence. Gale inside to Campbell. That was a tough pass. So it's going to go back with the Mystics. As we'll have a timeout. So 43-14 is the score, 2 minutes 2 to go in the second quarter. So teams coming back on court. We've got 2 minutes to play in the first half. As the Mystics will inbound, Keltos over to Russell. Russell working against Rowe. Gets it to McDermott. To a Scrivagay, 7 seconds to shoot. Scrivagay shots up, it doesn't go. Keltos grabs a rebound, kicks it out. Scrivagay for 3. That's good, nothing but net on that one from a Scrivagay. Fairley loses it, picked up by Keltos, over to Russell, and lays it in. A good quick couple of possessions for the Mystics there. That gives them some confidence. Sometimes you just need to see the shots falling in, and you can chip away into this lead. Just make some good runs, have some good possessions. As Campbell passes inside, Shaw off the glass. Beautiful shot from Hannah Shaw. Keltos over to Accra. Accra driving the baseline. Shaw saves it in, gets it over to Fairley. And round to Rowe. Rowe inside to Shaw. Short jumper, and that's good for Hannah Shaw. I like the movement there between Rowe and Shaw. Got a good pick and roll combination between those two. Keltos, that doesn't drop, but she gets her own rebound. And that is going to be foul on the Hatters. Just checking that one. And their first team foul with just 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. First half. And I think there was a bit of a miscommunication with the clock there, but that will do it for the end of the first half. 47-19, Hatters lead. We still don't have any live stats, but as soon as we do, we will bring them to you. So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back with you for the second half. Welcome back to the All Saints Sports Centre in Sheffield. We're getting ready for the second half between the Sheffield Hatters and the Manchester Met Mystics. Sheffield currently have a 47-19 lead over the Mystics, and they are led by they are led by Carly Murphy, Lena Nyang and Nicolette Fairley, all on 8 points. Carly Murphy has 6 rebounds to go along, so she's looking at another double-double to come in the second half. 3 already in the league so far this season, and 1 in the Cup against London. And for the Mystics, the leading scorer is Leah McDermott, who has 8 points, and a couple of steals to go along with that as well. Sam Keltus with 4 and 4 rebounds. So Hatters doing a very impressive job so far in the first half. They'll want to keep up that pressure, keep up that intensity, and take that into their next game against Essex next weekend, where they will travel to play them before the Christmas break. So back underway for the third quarter. McDermott over to McMillan for the Mystics. McMillan to Keltos. Keltos going against Murphy on the baseline, spins. Great move from Keltos and puts it in for the first points of the third quarter. And that takes Sam Keltos to 6 points. Naylor over to Gale. Inside to Murphy. Can't finish, and Keltos grabs another rebound. McDermott back to McMillan for the Mystics. McDermott gets it, turns, spins, and that shot doesn't fall into the hands of Naylor for the Hatters. And Fairley's 3 is up, and that is good. Nicolette Fairley with a huge 3 for the Hatters. 11 points for her in the game. Takes the lead to 29 as that pass is knocked away, so Hatters come up with it. Another turnover, and inside to Murphy, just tapped away by Keltos, able to prevent Murphy getting to the basket. Gale gets it into Murphy. Back inside, she's going against Keltos. And can't finish. Accra to Escriva Gay. And she's going to get bumped. So it's going to be a foul on the floor. First foul on the Hatters this quarter. McDermott at the sideline. Sit over to Accra. Leah McDermott played with the London Lions last season on that unbeaten season that the Lions had. And she's surely got a wealth of experience that she can give to the Mystics, as that pass is stolen away by Nicolette Fairley. Swings it round to Young. Shot is up and it doesn't fall. Escriva Gay grabs the rebound. She's got McMillan up ahead of her. Hands it off and tapped away by Fairley. McDermott, 3's good. And that's going to take Leah to 11 points in the game, leading the Mystics. Gale into Naylor. Swings it round. Young stepping through, it's stolen away by McDermott. Going against Naylor, stops inside to Keltos, and Keltos manages to lay it in. A much better start from the Mystics this quarter. Able to get some quick points on the board. As Gale passes into Murphy, and she's fouled by McMillan, who flies through the air and just knocks into a great hustle from McMillan, but it will be a foul call. As Charlie Rowe checks back in for the Hatters. And Lena Nyang is going to head to the bench. Nyang with 8 points and 5 rebounds, along with 4 steals in the game so far. Fairley over to Rowe. Rowe for 3. That's in and out, and then back in again. Charlie Rowe takes it to 5. McDermott over to Keltos. McDermott inside against Fairley. Doesn't get that one to fall. And Murphy's there. And interesting to see McDermott playing a bit more underneath the basket. As Gale's 3 is up, and that is good. Georgia Gale. She's got 8. Yeah, interesting to see McDermott playing a bit more underneath the basket than Keltos. Looks like they might be trying to switch something. Keltos driving high off the glass, doesn't go, but McDermott gets a rebound and puts it back in. Is that going to count? I think they're just going to review that to see if it was before or after the 24-second shot clock expired. So Fairley with the ball for the Hatters. Rowe. And 1! She's going to head to the line. Charlie Rowe with a chance at a 3-point play. It fell so slowly through the hoop, it looked like she almost just scooped it up and laid it in, but it finished. And that doesn't fall for Rowe. Murphy gets the rebound though. Over to Naylor. Rowe gets it back. Knocked away by McDermott, but she controls it. And foul on the floor. Second team foul on the Hatters. That is going to be, oh, I think they called that on Murphy. So sideline Hatters ball. Rowe hands it off to Gale, and that's going to be an offensive foul call. That is on Murphy. That's her second. So Hatters 28-point lead here in the third quarter, 5:30 to go. As McMillan works against Fairley. And Nicolette Fairley doing a great job pressuring the ball. And she's just going to get called for the foul on that one. But Fairley leading the way for the Hatters with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists and 4 steals in the game so far. Sheffield have been doing a fantastic job of stealing the ball from the Mystics. And 16 points from turnovers. So they're able to really capitalise on those steals, those turnovers that they've forced. As McDermott spins against Gale. Got 7 to shoot. McDermott over to Keltos. Keltos with a tough shot. Doesn't fall. Accra dives in for the rebound. Can't keep control of it though, so it's going to go back with the Hatters. As Fairley controls things for the Hatters. Over to Rowe. Campbell to Shaw, working against Keltos. Shaw, tough basket from Anna Shaw. And that takes her to 9. Got 5 rebounds as well to go along with that. McDermott gets it inside, over to Accra. And that will be foul on Shaw. As Kirsty Russell checks in for Alejandra Escrivagay for the Mystics. So inbound to McDermott, round to Russell. Keltos into McDermott. That's a tough shot. Can't get it to fall, and Rowe comes up with it. And double dribble call. Mystics just force the pressure on that possession, and they'll get the turnover. McMillan into Keltos. McMillan for three. That's too strong. McMillan also played in her first season in Manchester. After time at the University of Victoria, as the Hatters drop that one in. McMillan round to Keltos. And Shaw steals it away from Accra, hands it over to Gale, and the Hatters coming back on the attack. Gale swings it round. Campbell, she's got space, shot is up, off the glass, it's a bit too strong. McDermott pulls up for three, doesn't go. Russell with a rebound. And that takes the Hatters to 4 team fouls this, sorry, that's the 5th team foul this quarter. So Kirsty Russell going to be shooting. And Russell's first free throws of the season so far. First one doesn't drop. Second one doesn't fall either. Shaw grabs a rebound. Rowe going 3-on-1. And that is going to be a charging foul. Oh, I'm just waiting to see who they called down. I think that may have been Rowe. Yeah, that was on Rowe, so that's her second. McDermott against Gale, driving to the basket, pulls up. That's not going to fall. Rowe grabs a rebound. And Charlie Rowe with, that's her 6th rebound of the game. I feel like she's very quietly been sneaking in and grabbing some rebounds. But absolutely great to see, to go along with her 7 points. 6 rebounds for Charlie Rowe. Gale over to Campbell. Hands it to Rowe. That's going to be another offensive foul call on the Hatters. So Mystics get the ball back. As we head into the final 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Keltos. Floater's good. Shaw working against Keltos, swings it down the baseline. Shot doesn't go, and that's going to be foul is called on Shaw again. That's going to be her 4th. I think they called the reaching foul on that one. That's unfortunate for Sheffield. Has 2 quick fouls on Hannah Shaw, means she'll head to the bench. And Lennon Young back into the game. So Keltos at the line. First shot's good. Second one pops out. 1 or 2 from the line for Sam Keltos. Rowe over to Gale. Gale for 3. Doesn't go. Ball's knocked away, so back with the Mystics. And the refs are going to have a quick discussion about that one. And, yep, back with the Mystics. McMillan goes against Rowe, hands it off to Escriva Gay. Gets it back to Keltos. Keltos nearly loses it, keeps control, over to Escriva Gay. Manages to keep it. No, she can't keep it in, tried to bounce it off the Hatters. Ran out of space. I like what she was trying to do though. So timeout, 62-29, Hatters lead with just under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Hatters are led by Nicolette Fairley on 13 points, 2 rebounds and 3 assists, along with 4 steals in the game. And Carly Murphy has 8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, flirting with a double-double again, looking for her 4th of the season in the league. And for the Mystics, Sam Keltos has 11, along with 5 rebounds, and Leah McDermott has 11 and 3 steals. So a tough game for the Mystics. Hatters putting on some very, very strong performance, as we expect to see from them. As we know, this Hatters team is a very strong team. Players with a lot of experience, and Carly Murphy in her first season for the Hatters' first WBBL season, coming out of Colorado State. She's been very impressive for this team so far. It's going to be really exciting to see how far this team can go. And the trophy, and in the leagues, in the playoffs when we get to playoff time. So Hatters with the inbound. Rowe controls things. She's thought about the 3. I would have liked to see her take that. Yen. That's tapped away by Robinson. Robinson steals it, gets it over to Keltos. The 6 needs to get it over the line. Keltos turns, spins, tough shot, doesn't go. Murphy grabs the rebound, that's a 9. And Gale fires it over. And a bit too strong on the pass, so ball's back with the Mystics. Miscommunication on that possession there, as Mystics turn it over again, so Hatters get the ball back with 1:15 to play in the third. Rowe to Gale, gets it back. Back to Gale. Drives the lane, off the glass, beautiful shot from Georgia Gale. And this Hatters team are such a problem because they're such a threat from outside, and you've got players that can get to the basket inside as Robinson's shot doesn't go. Murphy grabs a rebound, that should be a 10. Gale driving all the way and in, count it, and the foul. Georgia Gale with a tough basket as she heads to the line. And Gale, an 85% free throw shooter this season. Currently averaging 11.2 points per game for the Hatters. As we've got substitution Mystics. McDermott for Russell. And Gale finishes. McMillan against Rowan Murphy, and that's going to be an offensive foul call. Push off on McMillan. So Hatters with the ball. Rowe swings it round. Young to Murphy. Over to Rowe, inside to Campbell. 7 on the shot clock. Campbell with a tough shot, doesn't fall. Ball stays with the Hatters. Murphy with a long 2. That's good. And that's going to be her 4th double-double of the season so far. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists so far in today's game. What a fantastic player, and it's going to be really exciting to see what she does the rest of the season and throughout her career. Got 8 seconds. 6, Gale pulls up, 3's up and doesn't fall. Campbell at the buzzer. What a shot from Naomi Campbell, finishes the putback. And she grins on that one. Great move from Naomi Campbell to just be aware of the rebound, get the ball, put the ball back in as the buzzer goes. So that will do it for the 3rd quarter. 71-29, Hatters lead. So we're about to get the 4th quarter underway. Sheffield currently leading 71-29 over the Manchester Mystics. And Sheffield will have the ball to start the 4th quarter. Murphy hands it off to Rowe. Naylor swings it round. Fairley pulled up for 3. That one's no good. Naylor grabs the rebound and puts it back in. And the Hatters have done a fantastic job of doing that all game, being in the right positions to get those second chance shots, put those second chance points back in. 17 offensive boards compared to the Mystics 6 in this game. Robinson gets it to drop. And Isabel Robinson, one of the under-18s Mystics players, plays in the WBBL alongside Alejandro Escrivagay and Joe Voliotis. Good to see her getting some points in the WBBL as McMillan drives in for the steal, but she's going to be called for the foul. as Kirsty Russell checks in and Callie McMillan heads to the bench for Manchester. Rowe over to Fairley. Fairley swings it out and she's just going to step out of bounds. So that will be a turnover, Sheffield. And no matter how many times you play on it, even if it's your home court, it's always super difficult when you've got a court like this with a few different lines on. It can be difficult to see where you are. As holding foul called on Lane and Young. So Kelsos will inbound. Scriver Gay working up the court. So McDermott to Keltos, great pass and finishes. Sam Keltos, that takes her to 13. And some great communication between McDermott and Keltos. Rowe over to Naylor. Naylor hands it off. Young with the long two. That one doesn't go. Murphy's there for the rebound and can't get that one to put it back in, but she gets her own rebound again and again. 2 offensive boards, kicks it out to Fairley. Carly Murphy hard working under the basket. As Fairley's shot doesn't go and Robinson gets the rebound. Escriva Gay. Back to Keltos. 3 is up and that won't fall. Naylor for 3. Doesn't go. Young comes up with it and drops it back in. And that's going to give her 10 to go alongside 5 rebounds and those 4 steals she had early in the game. McDermott over to Russell. Keeps control of it. Inside to Keltos. She's got loads of space and just puts it in. Murphy off the glass. Trading baskets. Escriva Gay to Keltos. Keltos driving and able to finish there. What footwork she's got to get to the basket. She's such a good player, being able to step through. And that's going to take her to 17. Murphy. Fairley keeps it. And just went out of bounds. I loved what Fairley was trying to do there with the behind the back pass, but just a bit too much on it as it goes out of bounds. So Isabel Robinson heads to the bench for Manchester and Vanessa Accra comes into the game. It's Keltos. Her shot's blocked by Murphy. Rowe over to Fairley. Back to Rowe. Fakes and drives. Under the basket, passes to Murphy, who lays it in. Escriva Gay to McDermott. Into Keltos, that one's knocked away. And when it's worked, that's been really effective for the Mystics. They're able to, Leah McDermott, Sam Keltos, working off each other, able to get the ball inside, especially if Keltos is under the basket. And it didn't work out for them on that possession, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of that throughout the season as Callie McMillan checks back in for Escriva Gay. As Fairley gets it into Rowe. Rowe into Murphy, and brilliant pass as Murphy just finishes. And Charlie Rowe's got 3 assists to go along with her 7 rebounds and 7 points. Vorliotis to Macmillan. Back to Voliotis. And travel call. So it'll be turnover Manchester. So Georgia Gale, Hannah Shaw and Naomi Campbell checking back in for Sheffield. Carly Murphy, Lena Young going to head to the bench. Along with, who have I missed? Helen Naylor. Gale working against McDermott. Rowe passes inside to Campbell. And Russell picks it up. Macmillan against Gale. To McDermott. Into Akrat's knocked away. Shaw comes up with it. Rowe. And that pass is knocked out. Going to go with the Mystics. Sorry, that's staying with Sheffield. That's Gale with the inbound. Gale over to Campbell. Three's up, doesn't fall. McDermott gets the rebound from Manchester. Acker against Shaw. Great pass to Russell, who lays it in off the glass. And if you're Manchester, obviously this is a very large deficit, but you want to just see what positives you can take out of the game. As Gale drives to the basket, doesn't get it to fall, but she's going to head to the line. Yeah, for Manchester, you just want to see what you can do in the second half. Can you have a better second half than you had the first half? Score more points? Is there some plays you want to try set up? Try some rotations, something that you can try in a real life game situation. And just take it play by play as Gale hits the first. And the second, 2-2 from the line for Georgia Gale, takes us to 15 points. And for Sheffield, obviously a very good win for them that will take them into the game against Essex next weekend. Always good to have that momentum. And they'll be hoping to continue their winning streak after they head down to Essex, and then they'll have the Christmas break. Offensive foul call on the Mystics, back with the Hatters. So Gale hands it over to Rowe. Just over 4 minutes to play in the game. Gale steps back. Round to Rowe. Rowe's shot is up and doesn't go. Shaw grabs the rebound and steps back, lays it in. Hannah Shaw with a tough basket, and she's going to head to the line. As Tess McKinney checks in for the Sheffield Hatters for the first time, Nicolette Fairley going to take a seat. Nicolette's got 13 points, 4 assists and 4 steals. So a well-deserved rest for her. Tess McKinney also playing Hatters under 16. Been playing with them since she was 10 years old, the Hatters organisation. And she's spoken previously about being very excited to join this WBBL team. And it's always great to see younger players get a chance in this league and learn from some of the best players that we have here. Especially for players like Charlie Rowe and Tess. Abby Whitehouse for the Hatters as well, learning from players like Hannah Shaw, Georgia Gale, Helen Naylor, Naomi Campbell. I could list the entire roster here. They're just a really experienced team and got so much to share with the players in the organisation. Just got a bit of a delay here, just trying to figure out what it is as Shaw's going to shoot. And that's good. And seconds good. 2 of 2 from the line for Hannah Shaw. Takes her to 12, along with 7 rebounds. Just under 4 minutes to go. As Accra, miscommunication there from Accra and Russell. Sheffield get the ball back. So Sam Keltos comes back into the game for the Mystics. Joe Vorliotis going to head to the bench. As we'll have a timeout. So Hatters back on court. It will be Hannah Shaw, Naomi Campbell, Tess McKinney, Charlie Rowe, and Georgia Gale. So Rowe over to Gale. Gets it back. Over to Shaw, back to Gale. Got 10 on the shot clock. Gale's knocked away. Escriva Gay picks it up. Over to Russell. McDermott's got loads of space for 3. That one's too short. Russell grabs the rebound and steps through. That doesn't go. Accra with the offensive board. Escriva Gay against McKinney. McDermott, 3's up, and that one doesn't fall. And then we've got a pushing foul either before the rebound or just after, so it's end line Mystics ball. It's McDermott inbounds over to Escriva Gay. To Accra, 6 on the shot clock. Accra steps through all the way to the basket. Great drive from Vanessa Accra. And Keltos knocks that out of bounds, stops the Sheffield fast break. So 2:51 to go, 87-41 at Hatters lead. Gale with the inbound. Over to Rowe. McKinney into Shaw. Hands it back to McKinney. And just steps out of bounds on that possession. Ball's back with the Mystics. Escriva Gay over to McDermott. Accra working against Shaw. Out to Escriva Gay. 3's up, and that one's just too short. Gale to Campbell. 3's up, and that one doesn't go. Accra taps the rebound, but can't keep it in play for the Mystics, so it's going to go back with the Hatters. Gale into Shaw. She's working against Keltos. Spins it out to Rowe. Rowe's 3 is up, and that one doesn't fall. Keltos comes away with it for the Mystics. McDermott steps inside against Campbell. The lane's blocked though, gets it down to Accra, and great pass over to Russell, who hands it off to Keltos. Just a bit too far behind the basket for that one to go. As Gale gets it inside to Shaw, turns and fires. Doesn't go, but she's going to head to the line. And Hannah Shaw with 13 points, 7 rebounds in the game so far, just 1 point off a season high of 14 earlier this season against the Oakland's Wolves. She ties that when she hits the first. And second one doesn't fall. So 1:30 to play in the fourth. Escriva Gay doesn't manage to keep it in. Great D from Georgia Gale there to force a turnover. As the Hatters get the ball back, we've got 1:25 to play. They've got a 43-point lead. Rowe over to McKinney, knocked away by Accra. And that's something Vanessa Accra does very well, does a very good job of just getting a hand in the ball, getting into those passing lanes and just knocking the ball out of bounds, taking some time off the clock. As the Hatters will have 6 seconds to shoot. Gale gets it over to Shaw. And that's going to go the way of the Mystics. As last touch was Sheffield. So McDermott with the inbound. To Escriva Gay, McDermott gets it back. Ball's out of bounds, so Hatters will get it back. So just over a minute to play, 1:04. As Rowe brings the ball up for Sheffield. Gets it to Gale. Over to McKinney. Campbell's in the corner. Shaw takes the 3, drives, hands it over to Gale. Over to Rowe. Rowe's going to shoot. It's going to be after the shot. And Mystics play some great defense, forcing the 24-second shot clock violation. So Escriva Gay. Keltos looking to get it to McDermott, can't, so she takes it herself and manages to finish. That's 19 for Sam Keltos in today's game. 20 seconds left. Over to Rowe. To McKinney. Passes to Campbell. Got 10. Rowe spins, turns, stripped by Accra. 5, 4, Accra driving all the way, lays it in. 1.8 to go. Hatters will inbound. Over to Rowe, and that will do it for today's game. A dominant performance from the Sheffield Hatters as they beat the Manchester Met Mystics 88-45 here in Sheffield. They were led by 16 points from Carly Murphy, who had 12 rebounds and 4 assists. And Georgia Gale, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists as well. Charlie Rowe dropping in 7 and 7 rebounds to go along with that. Hannah Shaw, 14 and 7. A real all-round team performance from Sheffield. And great to see players working together and getting on the board. So for Manchester, Sam Keltos led the way with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and Leah McDermott had 11 and 4 along with 3 steals. So that will do it for today's game. The Sheffield Hatters are back in action next weekend against Essex away. They will be back home here at the All Saints Sports Centre in Sheffield on the 4th of February against Nottingham. So make sure to get down, get your tickets, come down and watch. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great game. You're going to get to see some fantastic players. So make sure to check that one out. Thank you for joining us, and that will do it from Sheffield. 88-45 is the final score.